Do you know what are the most sensitive areas in the female body where all women want you to touch them? In this video, I will give you the details which areas of the female body are most sensitive and which areas you better stay away from. Understanding these spots can bring you closer to your partner and make your moments together even more special. So, let's get started. Before we get into specifics, let's talk about something really important. Every woman is unique. What one person loves, another might not. So the number one tip? Communication. Always check in with your partner about what feels good to them. Now, let's talk about some areas that are commonly sensitive and can help deepen intimacy when approached with care. Okay. So, number 5, inner thighs. Well, yeah, the inner thighs are very sensitive due to the concentration of nerve endings. Light touches or kisses in this area can build anticipation and enhance overall sensitivity. So, approach this area with gentleness. And remember, it's not just about arousal, it's about building anticipation and connection. Okay, number 4. Ears and neck, especially the nape. This is a classic sensitive zone. Soft kisses or even just running your fingers lightly over this area can work wonders. And did you know? The sides of the neck and the area around the ears are sensitive to touch, kissing, and gentle blowing. These areas also heighten arousal and create a sense of intimacy. Now, you might be wondering, where do these numbers come from? How am I ranking or rating these findings? Well, let me clear that up for you. All this information comes straight from a groundbreaking study recently published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine. This isn't guesswork. It's based on solid research, backed by data, and conducted by experts in the field. So, you can trust that what I'm sharing with you is not just insightful, but scientifically validated. I've linked the study in the description for those who want to dive deeper. Okay. The study surveyed almost 440 biologically female versions, meaning people that aligns with the sex that a doctor assigned them at birth. There is a term called cisgender for them. For example, a male who is cisgender will identify as a man, and a female who is cisgender will identify as a woman. I call them biologically male or female. Okay. So, this study surveyed almost 440 cisgender women, averaging 49 years old, through an online questionnaire. So, these participants were shown an anatomical illustration of the body and asked to mark their personal erogenous zones, meaning the areas they enjoy being touched, and aversive zones, meaning the areas they avoid being touched. This study was conducted mainly in the United States. After reading it, I believe this study is a significant step in understanding women's pleasure and discomfort, topics that are often overlooked in medical research. All right? So, when it came to internal zones, the anus was the most commonly reported aversive area, with 36% of respondents marking it as such. The reasons were clear. Almost 59% said it felt gross, 32% said it hurt, and 10% felt ashamed or embarrassed. However, 10% of women did report the anus as an erogenous zone, showing that preferences in this area are deeply individual. Breasts and nipples were rated as erogenous by 58% of respondents, scoring 8 out of 10. Nipples were the second most frequently selected erogenous zone. But here's an interesting contradiction. They were also the top aversive zone. Many women reported that nipple stimulation was either too sensitive or even painful. It's because the skin of the breasts, particularly the nipples and areolas, is rich in nerve endings. These nerve endings make the area highly sensitive to touch, pressure, and temperature changes. And you know, oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, is released during nipple stimulation, creating feelings of closeness and pleasure. There was another research that shown that the somatosensory cortex and other pleasure-related regions respond to nipple stimulation, which is why it can feel so arousing. So guys, gentle caressing, kissing, or light pinching can be pleasurable. Okay. So, it's no surprise that the clitoris ranked as one of the most erogenous spots, scoring a 9 out of 10. But here's the twist. When women were asked to identify the top 3 erogenous zones of the vulva, most chose the vaginal entrance first, followed by the area around the urethral opening, and then the clitoris. So, what's the takeaway here? Stop relying solely on generic, technical sex advice you find on YouTube and start paying attention to your partner. They're the best guide to understanding what they like and what they don't. Open, honest communication will always outshine any one-size-fits-all tips. And now, with this research, you know that what you assume to be a home run zone might actually be a no-go area. So, listen, learn, and adapt, because great intimacy starts with understanding. If you like what you see here, please subscribe and share.